Hello everybody, this is the Praetorian again. I'm doing a follow-up with my vlog concerning D.C.F.S. and my experiences concerning my son and my ex-girlfriend who got in trouble with D.C.F.S. And what I did is whenever I was going through it, I was checking out the internet and finding out tips that they suggest on there concerning what a person should do when in my situation, and one of them was to make a list of the things that were occurring that I should be aware of while I'm, and what the courts should be aware of, and just them, period, if you get an attorney or something. So I made a list of PowerPoints, for my family service experience. And so I'm gonna read out some of this so that you guys can read them and see what I came up with. This was actually what was happening as it was going on. I made the list. My rights concerning custody have been ignored in court. Guardianship of my son has been given to his grandparents instead of me, his legal father. His mother lives less than a city block from her parents. That's who he was given custody, or he was given guardianship to. I was not given proper representation from the court in concerns with a public defender, nor was I given proper notification of the situation from the beginning. Though I live 15 miles away from Benton, Illinois, it took the court 1 year to notify me with a summons to show up in court. When I did show up, neither the court or D.C.F.S. knew how I even received the summons to be in court, claiming that they did not have any knowledge of my whereabouts. My address, though, was clearly printed on the front page of the summons that I received, and I still have the original summons in question. Always remember that. Keep your summons. Keep every piece of paper that is sent to you concerning your child. Never leave it. The public defender that was appointed to me never attempted to sit down with me and discuss the case. Attempts were made in the first month he was appointed to me to contact him by phone, each time with only a message and no callback. After a month of attempts, he did finally talk by phone, stating that he would not get too involved because of past experiences in these situations. I had approximately four conversations with him before and sometimes after court, all no more than 15 minutes each in total. My public defender has never at any point since being appointed shared any information with me concerning this case, information that was intended for me to see, nor has he ever explained to me what the processes were that are taking place. Finally, after February 23rd, 2015, I informed my public defender that I no longer would need his service and asked that all documentation that was intended for me to receive in his possession be given over. I have neither received a response from this man, nor have I received the documentation that was supposed to have been handed over. I do not even know what information he possesses because he has made decisions on my behalf with the judge in the courts without my consent, without sitting down to discuss these decisions, explaining to me what they mean or involve. And to go even further with that, I would like to also add that since I was too poor to get an attorney to represent me, and he was the only attorney available, and I signed a piece of paper beforehand stating that I was too poor to get an attorney. I waived the right to choose my own attorney. I also waived the right to speak for myself in court. So before you go into court and you decide that you need to get a public defender that's appointed to you by the courts, you need to take that into consideration. This man went and made decisions behind closed doors without my consent. Alright. Now we go. My right to be heard in court has not been allowed. I was not getting the questions that I needed asked concerning the case. When I finally spoke up, the judge cut me off in the middle of my statement. I was explaining the disagreements that I had and my concerns. I also stated that I wanted custody of my son, and that is when the judge told me to shut up and listen to my public defender, sit down, and basically do as I was told. He did this as he was standing up and walking out of the courtroom. This is after I told him I was not satisfied with the court's decision, my public defender, and that I was going to make an appeal. I actually wrote out complaints. I contacted the courts. I actually tried to do some legal papers on my own, and I was completely ignored by it. I never received any kind of paperwork that was supposed to have been given to me, according to what I've been learning about it, because they stated that it was infringing on my ex's privacy, and then they wouldn't tell me information about what was happening to my son because it was infringing on his privacy. They wouldn't let me change public defenders because they said that there was none available. I was told by the judge, to sit in court and shut my mouth, basically. Now, when I went to go make my appeal, I did it myself. That didn't work out too well. If you guys can get an attorney, I really suggest that you get one, because this is crazy when you go through this. But when I wrote my appeal out, I wrote the reasons for appeal, and these were my reasons that I wrote down. My parental rights have repeatedly been violated. I was never given notification of the situation during the initial investigation or formal investigation, even though I had lived 15 miles away from Benton, Illinois. Though I am a non-custodial parent, I am still a parent, and so far I have seen no state code or statute that distinguishes between custodial or non-custodial, stating what my rights are as a non-custodial parent, even though D.C.F.S. has made an effort to do so in their rules and regulations. The court and D.C.F.S. counselors also seem to disagree about what happened on February 27, 2013. According to my court summons dated January 30, 2014, my ex was found on February 27, 2013, intoxicated, and my son told somebody that she had taken all of her medication. It also stated that she had been intoxicated for several days, yet does not state who mentioned these facts or who these facts were mentioned to. My ex has also made the statement that her oldest son stole her medication too. Both her second and third counselors seem to agree with that conclusion. From my conversations with them about this matter, I have begun to research the case more thoroughly, sent out an appeal to D.C.F.S. and requested the initial investigation file because of inconsistencies found in the investigation. If appeal is not granted, I will also be requesting a judicial review afterwards concerning this case. D.C.F.S. has informed me that I have not the right to appeal who gets custody of my son. Also, I do not know of any rules, procedures, or state statutes in the state of Illinois that makes this a fact. If there are, please let me or tell me what rules, procedures, or state laws there is that take the rights from me, a non-custodial parent who is not indicated as a perpetrator in these allegations, yet is being told that I don't have rights to appeal this decision.